What's going on? It's Jamar here, Vegas Sense. So in this video, I'm giving a top 10 list of my most favorite clones that I have in my inventory right now. And I think you all are gonna like this list, all right? So if you all enjoy this list, if you all enjoy the content on this channel, definitely go ahead and do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Also share this video to others, all right? So just to get straight into the list, man, I do have, again, it's a top 10 list, but I do have 2 honorable mentions, and those 2 honorable mentions go by Club de Nuit Sillage by Armaf and Ted Lapidus Poker Face. All right, so as a lot of you already know, Club de Nuit Sillage is gonna be a clone of Creed Silver Mountain Water. This one is just that super refreshing citrus, black currant up top. You know, you get a lot of that green tea sort of in the dry down, florals. This one is super fresh, super unisex as well. I really love this particular fragrance. It lasts a long time. And then the Ted Lapidus Poker Face, this one is actually a La Nuit de l'Homme clone. It's a really, really good one. This one actually performs, it projects, it lasts a decent time, at least on me. And it more so sort of smells like La Nuit de l'Homme before they reformulated it. So I do have a comparison video coming up in the future with this and the original La Nuit de l'Homme. And this one, man, at least I would say definitely for the price that you pay for this one, which is under $30, I think is what I paid for this for 100 ml. This one, man, is a hell of a deal, all right? So those 2 are my honorable mentions. And just to get straight into the list, at number 10, we have Maison Alhambra's The Tux. All right, so this one is gonna be the YSL Tuxedo clone. And this is definitely one, man, that if you can still get your hands on it somewhere, definitely go and pick this up. I would say whenever it does, you know, become back in stock at, you know, places like fragrancebuy.ca, absolutely snatch this up. This one you can get on fragrancebuy.ca for like, I want to say $20 to $25 or so, you know, plus shipping. Anywhere else, I would say this is going for like $50, $60. And I mean, this one is definitely, it's the best YSL Tuxedo clone, I would say, that I've smelled. Also, I mean, obviously the presentation of this bottle is really amazing. Definitely looks just like the YSL Tuxedo. But yeah, man, this one, you get that smokiness that you get from Tuxedo. You get that spiciness in the opening. You get a nice dose of patchouli. I'll have to do a comparison video of this to the original. From what I understand, the original has a more prominent patchouli note in it, but I mean, at least for the way that this smells for less than $30, I feel like you really can't beat this fragrance, all right? So again, that is the Tux by Maison Alhambra. All right, and at number 9, we have Fragrance World's After Effect. So After Effect, this one is the clone of Initio's Side Effect. As you can see, obviously with the name and the way that the bottle looks. And this one, man, when you first spray it on, it's really sort of like spicy, I would say. You get a lot of spices, you get that tobacco note, sort of boozy as well. This one projects really strongly, I would say, at least for like the first hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And then, I mean, it just keeps going all day long. This one lasts a really, really long time on me, skin and clothes. And it's just overall just a really sexy, really beautiful scent, man. So again, at number 9, that's Fragrance World's After Effect. All right, and then at number eight, we have Lovely Cherie by Maison Alhambra. This is obviously the clone of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. And just as I mentioned, you know, in the previous video where I compared this to the original Tom Ford Lost Cherry, this one, man, for the most part, it smells identical to Lost Cherry. The only difference is this just smells stronger for the most part. You know, again, in that immediate opening, you know, you do sort of smell the higher level of ingredients used in the Tom Ford. It does smell ever so slightly more natural, and there's really no sort of alcohol that you smell at all in the first few seconds of the Tom Ford fragrance. But I mean, after those first couple of seconds, these two are pretty much identical, except this actually has more projection and longevity. So definitely, man, if you like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, or I would say even if you just like cherry scents in general, this is definitely one to get for sure. All right. So again, at number 8, that's Maison Alhambra's Lovely Cherry. And at number seven, we have Haramain's Amber Oud Rouge. So this one is the Baccarat Rouge 540 EDP clone. And I mean, at least from what I remember, Baccarat Rouge 540 smelling like, you know, both in the opening and, you know, once it sort of dried down, this to me smells exactly like it. I did prior to this have Armaf's Club de Nuit Untold. And the thing that I noticed with that particular fragrance, a few hours into the dry down compared to this one, is the Armaf one, I don't know, it kind of had like this sort of, almost kind of like a screechiness to it. Or like, you know, it kind of turned sort of metallic, I would say, in the dry down on that particular fragrance. I would say in the opening, it smelled really good, but once it dried down on me, it smelled differently than what this one does. And I definitely prefer this one over the Armaf for sure. So if you do like that Baccarat Rouge 540 scent DNA, this is definitely, in my opinion, the best one to get. And if you can get a 100 ml bottle, this is only a 60, I would say definitely go for that one. Because in my opinion, that one is definitely, that's the better deal. So again, number 7, Haramain's Amber Oud Rouge. All right, so at number 6, we have Rasasi's Sotoor Taa. And this is gonna be a clone of Gucci Guilty. Gucci Guilty, man, I've had that particular fragrance. I had it like probably, I don't know, it's been like over 10 years ago, like back in, I would say like probably 2010 or something like that, 2011. Love that particular fragrance, you know, and the way it smelled, but it just did not last on me. Like it was probably gone in like 3-4 hours. And so with this one, this is basically, it's that particular fragrance, but like on steroids, you know what I mean? Like this is like Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then the Gucci Guilty is like you who hasn't lifted a weight in like 10, 15 years, you know what I'm saying, trying to lift 225 for the first time, you know what I mean? Like, it's just no comparing. So this one, I would say it's a good spring scent for sure. You don't want to really wear this one in super high heat, because even though it has sort of like this freshness and aquaticness to it, it's still like a really dense, heavy, you know, super high projecting scent. All right. So you could definitely, you know, it can become cloying, I would say, if you spray too much of this or if you wear it during the wrong time of year. All right. So again, at number 6, that is Sotoor Taa by Rasasi. All right, at number 5, we have a a classic, I would say, from Alexandria Fragrances, and that one is 1981X. So this one is their clone or interpretation of Xerjoff's Naxos. And this one, man, I wish I could wear this one more often, or, you know, more times a year. I really only wear this when it's like really cold and, you know, windy and breezy outside. You know, because this is really, really strong, you know, even though it kind of has like this sort of aromatic sort of, you know, airiness to it. It's still a really dense, super sweet type of scent. And pretty much what you get with this one is you get a lot of citruses in the opening, you get tobacco, you get honey, and you get florals with this one. And honestly, I haven't run into anybody that didn't like the way that this particular fragrance smelled. I've gotten plenty of comments with this one. And this one, man, I would say for the winter time, it's a must have. Absolutely. All right. So again, at number 5, we have Alexandria Fragrances 1981X. And at number 4, we have Lataffa's Khamarah. So Lataffa's Khamarah has definitely gotten a lot of hype. I would say the hype train, I would say, was like probably around like Christmas time or so, Christmas, Thanksgiving, around that time. And this one was kind of named to be like an Angel Share clone. I have another Angel Share clone, which is Brooklyn Fragrance Lover by Alexandria Fragrances. Every person that I've seen sort of compare all of the different clones have said that Brooklyn Fragrance Lover is like the closest to that particular fragrance. It's basically a carbon copy of it. This one, I would say, is its own fragrance. It's not really a clone, but at the same time, it sort of is. It's more like an inspiration, I would say. This one focuses more so on kind of like the chocolate, like the chocolate and praline. Doesn't really have, I would say, a lot of booze to it. You know what I mean? It's not really a boozy sort of scent. It's just more so, I would say, kind of like a sweeter type of take on, you know, Angel Share, and a lot more denser as well. This one is definitely a much heavier scent. It projects, you know, a lot more than, you know, what that Angel Share DNA does. And to me, this is the better scent, honestly. It really is, man. This is definitely a wintertime banger for sure. And another one that I wish that I could wear almost every day. So again, at number 4, we have Lataffa's Khamarah. All right, so at number 3, we have Alexandria Fragrances Zion, all right? So this one is the clone of Elysium's Parfum Pour Homme. This one, man, at least for me, and I mean, I've been wearing this particular fragrance, I would say at least for probably about 5 years or so now. This is definitely one of the best fragrances that Alexandria Fragrances offers. And I would say to anybody that wants to get, you know, introduced to that Elysium DNA, this is definitely a good starting point. It doesn't smell exactly like the Parfum Cologne. This is, I would say, a more sort of concentrated, a little bit more heavier type of scent. But in my opinion, man, it's the better of the two, especially when it comes to performance. This particular fragrance, at least on me, it lasts at least about 10 to 12 hours. And I'm talking about in the super high heat of summer, and especially if you spray it on your clothes. If you spray it on your clothes, this really isn't going anywhere, honestly. And it's just a really refreshing, you know, effervescent, sort of crisp citrus type of scent. It has a really good vetiver note in it as well that I really like. So this one, man, I would say it's it's a fragrance that I would say a man of any age could really appreciate and like, you know. So again, at number 3, you have Alexandria Fragrances Zion. All right, and then at number 2, we have Paris Corner's Emir Frenetic Delicieuse. This one is their take on Dior's Fave Delicieuse. And man, this one is just, it's chocolate, it's vanilla, it's tonka bean. I'm pretty sure there's like some spices in here. This is just like, it's a gourmand lover's dream, I would say. Hence the name Delicieuse. Like, it does smell delicious. It really does, man. This one, it has in the opening like this really nice kind of sour cherry note to it. So, you know, it has that as well. This one is a wintertime banger. I really wish that I could also wear this particular fragrance a lot more, because I really, really like this fragrance, man. And it lasts a long time as well, at least 10, 12 hours. So again, at number 2, you have Paris Corner's Emir Frenetic Delicieuse. And at number one, we have Lataffa Pride's AlQaim Silver. All right, so AlQaim Silver, man, this one is Lataffa's take on Bulgari's Tiger. And in my opinion, this is definitely the best Bulgari Tiger clone that you can get. It may not be the most accurate clone to Bulgari Tiger. You know, from what I understand, Alexandria's Black Panther is, and I've owned that particular fragrance before. But the main thing that I didn't necessarily like with Black Panther is the grapefruit note in that particular fragrance, at least to me, is amped up to the point where it gives me a headache. And I don't really enjoy wearing that particular fragrance. This one, though, it still has a really strong, you know, grapefruit note, you know, initially when you first spray it on, but it's not as amped up, I would say, as the Alexandria version. This one, you know, it has, you know, a nice blend of like that grapefruit, the ginger, you know, and then once it dries down, you do still sort of get that grapefruit note, but it starts to turn into like a woody Ambroxan pretty much. But this one is super refreshing, super crisp. I really, really enjoy the opening of this particular fragrance. It's just really effervescent and sparkly. And this one, man, I would say for anyone looking for a Bulgari Tiger clone or just anything within that sort of scent DNA, this one hands down, man, is the best one in my opinion. All right, so that's the list, man. Let me know what you all think about the list. Let me know if you all have heard of, you know, most of these fragrances, and the ones that you haven't, let me know. I have a lot more clones to, you know, kind of feature on this channel. I definitely want to share a lot of these clones with you all, because at this point, these clones are getting to the point where the quality on these are so high and so close to the originals that it's starting to not really be worth getting the originals, unless I guess you're just one of these collectors that, you know, has to have the original fragrance, original bottle on your shelf. All right, so again, let me know what you all think about the list. And again, that's Jamar, Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.